What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to explain how Python makes decision. Don't worry if you are new to Python. By the end of this lesson, we are going to create a basic Python project. It will take a student's score as input and figure out their grade. Without any delay, let's dive in. In our previous lessons, we wrote a few lines of code using a code editor. You might have noticed that the code we write runs one line at a time. This means line 2, which is this print statement, will only run after line 1 is finished. Let's execute the program and see the output. Great. So the program runs line by line from the top to the bottom. Sometimes we only want to run a part of the code when a condition is met. For example, you might want to run line 2 only if a particular condition is true. This is where the if keyword in Python becomes useful. I will show you how it works in a moment. When you write an if statement in Python, you must provide a condition. This condition is a regular Python code that must evaluate to true. If the condition is true, then this block of code will run. If it is false, the block of code will be skipped. Now, what makes a valid condition? Let's go over it. The first type of condition you can use is a Boolean data type. If the condition is true, then the inner block will run. If it is false, the inner block of code will not run. Notice that the inner code is not starting from the beginning. Another valid condition is any expression that evaluates to a Boolean. For example, 5 greater than 4 will return a Boolean, which is either true or false. A variable can also be used as a condition. The key is to understand when a variable evaluates to true or false. Let's dive into actual coding. Every program starts running from the first line of code. Let's introduce a condition before line 2 runs. We need to use the if statement. If followed by a Boolean or anything that evaluates to a Boolean. True. Then add a colon. Now we have set a condition. The next part is what we want to do if the condition is true. Press enter after the colon. Notice that the next line does not start from the very beginning. This is the inner code to execute if the condition is met. Print coming after a condition is true. The spaces before this line of code are known as indentation. Python uses indentation to group lines of code together. This inner part of the code runs if the condition is true. We can decide to write something else to the terminal. Condition is true. Now let's run the entire program and see what happens. Great. As we can see, the conditional statements run because the condition is true. If we were to use false, it wouldn't run. Let's check that out. False. Now let's run the program and see the outputs. The inner block of code did not run because the condition is false. Instead of using just true or false, in real applications, you usually use expressions that check if something is true or false. Let's declare two variables. X equals 20, y equals 10. Now let's use the if statement. If x greater than y, print x, which the value is 20, is greater than y, which the value is 10. This expression is going to evaluate to either true or false. This inner line of code will only run if the condition is true. 20 greater than 10, the answer is true. This line of code is going to run. Let's execute the program and see the output. Great. Let's make this expression to evaluate to false. We just need to change the variable value x equals to 5. 5 greater than 10, the answer is false. That means if we run this program, this line of code is not going to run. Let's execute the program and see the outputs. Nothing is printed to the terminal because the condition we have here is not true. You can also evaluate a condition by using a variable directly. Simply declare a variable like this, x equals 10. This can be a number, string, dictionary, or any other data type. If x, print, this line runs because x is true. This raises an important question. When will a variable evaluate to true? Any non-zero number like 1 and 2 is considered true. Also, a non-empty string is true. A non-empty list, dictionary, or similar container is considered true. Let's declare some variables. Number underscore 1 equals 2. I need to reduce the font size to show more codes on the screen. String underscore 1 equals AB. List underscore 1 equals a non-empty list. Dict underscore 1 equals a non-empty dictionary name. If number 1 print number is not 0. If string 1 print string is not empty. You can also say if list underscore 1 print list is not empty. If dict dictionary print dict is not empty. Now let's execute the program and see the output. Great. As you can see, all the inner blocks of code ran because the variables are considered true. Number underscore 1 is true because this is not 0. The same thing for string. This is not an empty string. That is why it is considered true. The same applies to a list and any other container such as a dictionary and set. If they are not empty, they are considered true. That is why the inner block of code ran. Now let's change the values assigned to the variables. 0, an empty string, empty list, and empty dictionary. Let's execute the program again and see the output. Great, the inner blocks will not run because the variables are now considered false. I hope this clarifies the topic for you. In the next lesson, we will cover another aspect of conditional statements in addition to the project exercise. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Also, consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more educational content. Thanks and see you in the next video.